Hello, hello, hello. Long time no see. I hope everyone is doing well. Hello, hello, hello. I am giving you a short live single out of Convention Crunch. As you can see, as well on the screen, as in the title of the stream. Um we're gonna work on my Deltarune stickers. I wanted to have some form of Undertale merch at my booth for a long time. And then the Switch 2 was announced to release on Dokumi Friday together with Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4. I took that as the final push to finally do something. Oh no, get well soon. That doesn't sound too nice. I also had a day. Um I woke up and the coffee was empty. That's not as bad as having a stomach ache, but there was no coffee. Luckily, we went getting groceries today, and with we I mean my boyfriend went, so I got my coffee later. But that's a bummer. And because the weather is switching again, which overall I'm very happy with. I'm happy it's clearing up and it's getting warmer again. But my body doesn't like weather changes, like the sudden ones. Um, so I'm really tired since yesterday, and then I get no coffee. And because I was tired, I kind of clicked on a phishing mail today, which is below my pride. I realized I clicked on a phishing mail the second I clicked on it. But that 1 second of brain failure cost me a lot of nerve. I think actually nothing happened because it was a PayPal phishing mail. And I think it was the kind of phishing mail that wants you to put in your password. Like, it doesn't install malware on my phone. It would have been bad the second I would have logged into PayPal via the fake site they built to get my PayPal information. Um, Luckily, I noticed it the second I clicked on the link, but I had to disconnect my phone from the internet, go in. I changed my passwords, like the most important ones. Um, and I installed a. Thank you. I tried my best. I tried my best. I'm actually really proud of how this looks like a I think it's called a snow globe as well in English. It was not my intention. Actually, I just put in the circle behind, and because I had this ground sketched in, it naturally took that shape, and I was like, that was the most awesome accidental thing that happened to me while drawing. Um, yeah, I also think clicking on a mail is not a problem anymore. Oh, but I clicked on a link. That's the thing. Um, I clicked on a link and went into the login page, but then I immediately went back, checked, okay, this was a phishing mail. Why did I click on the link? And then I immediately took precautions, restarted my phone, disconnected it from the internet, downloaded a software that's there to detect malware on my phone. Um, but I was tired and grumpy, and that was not a good start into the day. Other than that, I had to do some work today. Technically, I have a free day, but I had to finish some business because I'm on vacation next week because of the convention. So I'm not really on vacation. I took the week off, but only from work. I still have university and I still have the convention and everything around that. So it's less stressful, but I still had to get things done because after my vacation in quotes, we immediately have something important on work in my workplace, and everything had to be ready for that deadline. So I had to kind of crunch this week, which immediately kind of deleted the purpose of me taking next week off. I should have instead worked next week, only taken off a few days, and then take my days off after the important thing on work was done. Anyway, a bit stressful day, but overall I'm in a good mood now because I got food, which helps a lot. I was able to drink my coffee later the day, which also helped me to be a bit more awake. And as far as I can tell, I have no malware on my phone. Everything is fine. I'll leave the security software for my phone on there for a week or so, just to be sure. And I think I avoided bigger catastrophe by immediately remembering everything I know about internet security. I don't know why I clicked on that link. I think it was just really being tired and not thinking straight. That was so dumb. But yeah, that's basically what my day has been. Next week is a convention. I have to finish these stickers. And so we're gonna continue to do that. And so I still need to do some line cleanup. I'm gonna put this away and see where I have some improvement to do. I mean, the antivirus software can be more of a risk and help. It can be. Thank you. I have I have quite a few stickers ready here. Yeah. I'm just like, of course I researched the software before I downloaded it. So I think everything is fine. I did not put in my actual information. I think I dodged that bullet. Hopefully. But just to be safe. You never know. And also the fact that I did it on my phone made me more nervous because I know how to fix problems on my computer. I don't know how to fix things with my phone. I don't know, like, just researching, okay, how can I actually do also new sub because of thank you. I'll mostly stream and I mostly draw on stream, so hopefully a good call. Um ah okay, I wanted to continue line work. But yeah, I think like getting viruses on your phone is kinda it's more stressful. Even though technically my computer is more risky because I have more information saved there and I need it for a lot of things. And losing my computer to something like an attack like that would be very, very bad for multiple reasons. I don't have enough backups. I need to like take a day off and do backups and secure data. Now that I think about it. I'm so looking forward to the new Deltarune chapters. I'll be playing on PC though, because I don't think I can afford a Switch yet. Hi. I have basically everything always backed up in the cloud. Yeah, I should start doing that too. I mean, most of my art projects are actually synced because I use Clip Studio and Clip Studio has their own cloud, and I switch between my mobile tablet and my computer tablet. Which at least has one nice consequence. It also has a very annoying consequence because with Clip Studio, I could have a permanent license for my computer, but they don't offer that for mobile devices. So I have to pay the subscription. I don't completely like how the Ralsei looks though. Okay, now he looks more to Chris than to the viewer. Okay, maybe I like the more rounder, bigger eyes. Damn it. I could just undo. Ah, but it works. This works as well. I think personally, I think the Undyne and Alphys one and the Queen one turned out the best by now. And the Papyrus. I think the Papyrus is like, I don't know what awakened in me when I drew him. It's also very weird because I used to be in the Undertale fandom, like deep in it. Not deep sounds maybe a bit too deep, but I was taking part in the fandom, so I only know how I used to draw these characters almost 10 years ago. Which also realizing that was basically 9 years ago is a bit. It's a lot. Just realizing how much time passed and stuff. But it was kind of interesting and weird at the same time to kind of see, okay, but how do I draw them now with all the progress that I've made? No. I think they all look great, but Zillia don't have any connection to me. I think they all look great. Why did I put a don't in there? That's the imposter drum speaking out of me. Oh, Undertale and Deltarune are really great games. Highly recommend them. I'm so sad that I have a convention on the weekend it releases. Because that means I don't get to play it immediately, which always means I might have a small delay in playing it. But hopefully, being on a convention on release day means that people are gonna buy these stickers. Because they're like, oh, it's from the thing that's releasing. Also, Undertale has its 10-year anniversary this year. Gaming is not really something I do. Hopefully with the Switch 2 then that I can't use for first days. I mean, Undertale and Deltarune are both on the Switch, so go for it. My recommendation. But yeah, I also don't play a lot of video games anymore. Not really on purpose, just a time thing. Like, all that I'm playing currently is Slave Aspire, basically. Which I would hardly count as, like, intense gaming. I don't want to open the, like, casual versus real gamer conversation. That's not what I mean. But it's, like, very on the go. I'm jealous. I wish I would be able to buy the Switch, but I mean, I could buy it. I have the money, but it's not a financial sound decision. Maybe if a convention goes really well, then maybe. But until I know, I don't wanna. I don't wanna do anything that could mean that I miss money for something important. I have games I want to finish, but I need walkthroughs because I'm bad at older games. To be fair, older games are also worse at communicating what they want you to do sometimes. Depending on the game, of course. Because the conventions were different back then, or they were not there. I still haven't played the Elden Ring DLC. I still haven't finished Elden Ring. I feel so bad about that. I need to. But I don't have time. I will definitely plan my Elden Ring playthrough when I do it. Because I need to look up a build I want to do and the, like, must do caves and stuff. Because last time I did every single thing and it got really like I played Elden Ring for 120 hours and I did not finish it because I did everything and after some point I had to I just was not in the mood anymore. I just stopped playing. It's not because I dislike the game, it's just a lot. Um and some things are kind of repetitive, sadly, and that lost me. So next time I'm gonna decide what build I'm gonna do. I'm gonna plan my walkthrough until the DLC, and then I'll see how it goes. But I felt so bad about that. I don't know what else I would play if I had the time to do so. I don't know what I have been kind of thinking about. I guess I would play older games. I would take my time to do another Pathologic 2 run. Maybe actually play the original a bit more than I did. Also, Fallout New Vegas I started playing and stopped. I would like to do that again. Again, I did not stop for a reason. I never stop games for a reason, or I rarely do. It just happens to me. I'm so selective with what I play that I barely play stuff where I'm like, nah, I'm gonna finish this. I'm not gonna stop playing this because I hate it. It's usually just being busy, some other stuff comes up, and I'm not able to do it. I'm currently playing through the Mafia trilogy, and because of the recent hype, I finally started playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. Well, I suck at ego shooters, the whole Star Wars atmosphere, although it makes it very fun despite my incompetence. I'm like, how did little kids finish this stuff? I don't know. Um, I don't even think. I think we just used to be more patient as kids, and very trial and error motivated. So it was okay to just run against the wall a few thousand times. At least I, as a kid, would be able to do that a few times before actually being frustrated and quitting a game. But I haven't really played a lot of retro games in my lifetime. Not because I don't want to. Like I talked a lot about, but I'm not able to game anymore. It's not an active hobby I have. I have chosen franchises that I play with a passion. I started another run on Yakuza 0, and I have to get back and finish that goddamn game. I played further than last time, but I also just lost the routine into actually starting the game and making progress. And I would theoretically really like to play the entire Yakuza franchise, but hell, I don't think I'll be getting to that. There's always that one kid at school who knows exactly what to do, yeah. And they looked it up, but they're not telling you. They just know that it's way more impressive if you act like you figured it out on your own. At least that would be my guess. Okay. I'm not 100% satisfied, but I learned to kinda get through that. And the coloration is gonna make it look better anyway. Like, I really did not like the way Sans looked, and when I did the colors and was like, okay, he actually looks fine. Still playing a bit of Yakuza 0 some years ago because it was in a Game Pass, and while the beginning was fun, I quickly lost track of it and never continued playing it since. Yeah, it's just very time intensive with all the mini games and stuff. And I mean, that's a big part of the fun in the game. So I don't want to skip it and just blaze through the story. And I enjoyed every second I played. I just stopped playing. It's like I stopped watching. Like, I just stopped watching or reading stuff sometimes. It doesn't have a reason. I just other stuff gets in between and I drop it. Or more like I have it eternally on hold. I also have a few manga that are staring at me right now. Um from my shelf. Okay. I think we're gonna start doing this. Ah, yeah, they look cute. I'm not completely into all the detail, but they look cute. I'm really looking forward to Deltarune. It sparks such joy. I am excited for the anime adaptation of Osama Hikaru Died. I am very excited. I am reading the manga. I only have 4 volumes, looking away from all the unread manga art books and unwatched movies on my shelves. Yeah, it do be like that sometimes. And I really like the summer Hikaru died. I really like it. I'm curious what the conclusion will be because I'm not finished. Um, and it's giving off vibes. It is excellently drawn, and the trailer of the anime looked nice. So who knows where it will go? I am optimistic. There is Chris. I'm just gonna pick the colors from the brights, and if I'm thinking that they need to like be a bit adjusted, I'll do so later. For now, we'll do the fillings. Ah, it happened again. You need to be outside of that folder. Oh my god, I hope you don't hear that. According to OBS, it's not picking up. My neighbors just started drilling. God damn it. I recently read the first volume of a new City Hunter release. I have that. I bought that. It's sitting on that shelf. Which was very fun thus far, and I started watching Pet Labor. I'm still at the first OVA series, but thus far. Pet Labor sounds familiar. The voice actor seems to speak a regional Japanese that sounds pretty charming. Ooh. I mean, it's set into a rural area. I don't know which one. Whoa. Oh, it's 47 episodes. I mean, that's still on the more reasonable side. There are longer series. Good night, Pum Pum. Yeah, I haven't looked into that one yet, but I know what you are hinting at. Oh, like a few days ago, I is it Kansai? Now I have to look that up because I am a Kansai girl. I lived in Japan for a year, for my year abroad, and I was at a Kyoto University. Not the Kyoto University. The summer Hikaru died. Okay, I think I have. Okay, they just have a strong country accent. Mie Kansai accent, yeah, so it's basically vaguely just rural. Oh, that's cool. I like dialects. I can watch Pet Labor movie 1 and 2 times a year, but I'm apparently not the series. Yeah, but I get it. Movies are a day commitment, and the series is like a series of watching commitments, so it's a bit hard to keep up sometimes. But I'm getting better at it. I mean, I am slowly picking up all my different hobbies and plans again. It would really help to not have a part-time job. But the bills have to be paid, and I am not rich, so keep keep on finding time somehow. Like I don't know how some people have so much time to do a lot of stuff. It seems like trickery to me. I mean, I used to be like faster and more efficient, I guess. But then I also wonder if it was because I was worse at the things that I do, so they just did not take that much time. I still need to sketch out something for Spam Tim. I did not. I struggled a lot with drawing him. Um, and originally, I did not plan every sticker to be so big and have a background or something. Um, like they are gonna have a Deltarune emblem in the background. They don't really have a background, but they have like this works. And maybe I'll put in like a small thing or background. They all like it started with them, and I was like, yeah, it would be really cool to have like Snowden in the background. And then this was pretty easy. And they just got a heart because they're cute and I like the ship. And then I was like, okay, it's easy. Like for Queen, I can have her throne chair thingy. Hello. For them, I can have the emblem, and I don't know. I guess I'm gonna sit little annoying. Thank you. Annoying Spamton into his little annoying um shop. I mean the annoying part fondly, by the way. Crime and Punishment rings a bell. I started watching Star Wars The Bad Batch again and got further than last time already. Yeah, I'm not really that much into Star Wars. I don't like that it has become a franchise. It has technically been like I don't mean like the of course it was technically a franchise the moment it was a trilogy and got prequels. But I never felt like it was a franchise. For me, it was the movies, and that was fine. And now Disney has the rights to Star Wars, and there's so much going on, and I'm just like, I only watch the movies. Then the new trilogy had the terrible last movie it had. I feel like the last movie from the new Star Wars trilogy, like it's episode 7 till 9. I feel like episode 9 had to be a very, very good movie to kinda elevate the two movies before, but instead it was so bad that it just took them down the abyss with it. Um they undid the thing I liked the most about it, which was that Wei had no family and was coming from nowhere, which I really loved. And yeah, that's my stance on Star Wars. Otherwise, I'm not really interested into like I watch the animated short films, or even can you even call them short films? It's more like very short episodes. Somehow Palpatine returned. Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. Um, but I don't know. I kind of completely disconnected at that point. It's just the moment it's just like with Marvel. I used to like the Marvel movies when they first started doing it, and I found it to be kind of cool. And then it was too much, and they lost me. The first two chapters of both Witch Atelier and Dungeon Meshi, I'll probably try to get all available ones before starting those. Not sure when the Witch Hat Alchemy anime is supposed to start, but I'd like to read the manga before. It's such a good read. It's such a good read. And I think Dungeon Meshi as well. Like with Dungeon Meshi, I can already say it's like a great adaptation. But I feel like reading the manga has a kind of different tone, and I think it's slightly superior. Which is not to complain about anything that Trigger did or did not do. I just realized I have to correct Chris's arm there. It's just more like I really like the mangaka and how the mangaka draws and expresses things. And it's just not the same. Same with Richard Atelier. I think no matter how good the adaptation is going to be, the manga is so well drawn, the paneling is so goddamn gorgeous. I'm gonna keep reading it, even if the anime has like a superior thing. And that's like different from MHA, where for a long time, I could read and watch both. And then the anime adaptation kind of went down the drain for me, not because of animation quality, but choices I was not really. It was basically because I thought that the Bakugo voice actor screamed too many of his lines, and I am a Bakugo stan. And I was like, this is not how I would have voice directed him, and it's starting annoying me a lot. And also just some things. Like, the quality got slightly worse, I think. It was still a very good adaptation, but I was, okay, clearly Horikoshi is drawing such... Like, the drawing skill of the mangaka is so good, I just read it. My neighbor is drilling. You guys luckily cannot hear it, but it's a bit annoying. Perhaps I have to rewatch it, but at least after my first time watching the cinema, I actually enjoyed episode 9, though I share a few other problems. To be fair, Palpatine has also returned to the old expanded universe, and at least Mandalorian and Babbage are trying to set up an explanation for his return. It's... I did not enjoy that movie at all. The first 30 or 40 minutes when I watched it, I only watched it 2 times. But when I watched it in the cinema, I actually thought the pacing was really weird. It was so rushed. They had to retcon, like they retconned so many things from the movie before. Some things went nowhere. It was just not enjoyable. And for me, it doesn't really matter if Palpatine's return can be rationalized. It's just there's no reason. I did not enjoy the new movies because of old stuff that was inside those movies. I liked the concept of, okay, there is a new protagonist, she's a new Yeti, she has no connection with any of the things that came before. It's like a new generation. We still have some old characters, and we are kind of taking them somewhere, but it's not just about them. I already had issues with some of the movies before that. I don't know. I'm not even having a strong Star Wars opinion. I was just really disappointed. Like, I don't have my heart in that franchise. I think if that would be the case, I would be way more mad. I didn't watch Star Things for 1.5 years, and now I'm slowly catching up again. I mean, I bet there's some pretty cool. I mean, I have friends who are into Star Wars and who are like, yeah, there are like some cool things coming out of the Disney movies, series, stuff. I don't know, man. You know, I just can spend the time a bit better. than watching Star Wars. Like, I have other things I would watch before I watch Star Wars stuff. Yeah, in the MHA manga popped off even though the story went down. Yeah. I am happy about how Bakugo's story went, like his character development. He was almost overdeveloped at some point. Not even overdeveloped, but he had like the payoff of his character arc 3 times, I think. At some point I was like, okay, I got it. I got it. He is redeemed. He is redeemed. We don't need to like fake kill him 2 times. Please. MHA for me had the problem. Yeah, Under is like an example I heard a lot. Like the MHA problem is that I think it was that Horikoshi got very recent. He got regular redirections from his editors. I also think his editors changed quite a bit, and I think that massively disrupted the flow of the story. Because I felt in the first chapter, we got basically all things that were going to matter thematically were established in the first chapter, and a lot of people did not like the first MHA chapter. I actually think it's a pretty good chapter because it's like, see, we have heroes, and they're paid by the government. Also, they're kind of idols. And some people don't really take their work seriously and they just want to get popular because if they get good rankings, they get more money and more missions and stuff. So there's like, already we have this thing where like, okay, this is not just, hey, cool, we are paid superheroes in a society of superpowered people, but there's like society. There's a society that has conflicts. We have the whole discrimination of people with animal quirks or with like less human quirks or with spooky quirks, you might say. That was an entire theme. And that's like some very serious stuff. And then a lot of the stuff went nowhere or was like a sometimes thing and not an always thing. Like the entire thing that the society reproduces its villains is like a throughout theme, but it gets interrupted a lot of time. There was interesting social commentary, but it was underexplored. And that's the entire thing of MHA. That I feel like he was not able. No, not that he was not able, he was not allowed to explore everything. And he also like shifted the tone of some things. For example, I think Endeavor is a great example. I kinda liked. For some time I kinda liked Endeavor's character development, but then I thought about it, and he just completely backpedaled because we went from Endeavor being an abuser, like he even married his wife to get the most perfect children, like it was an arranged marriage. But then when we actually get into what happened to Darby, it's not that Endeavor abused him. Like he kind of did, he pushed him, but it was not like it was shoved onto Darby as it was with Shoto. He was just like handing down his passion to be like a good hero as a bonding experience to his son, but his quirk turned out to be harmful for him, so he stopped. And that's the entire thing. Endeavor's the reason why Toya ran into the forest and trained and burned himself as well as the forest is very tragic, but I would not really say that it is Endeavor's fault that happened. It kinda is, because he instilled this passion as an condition to spending time with his son and to give him acknowledgement. So that was his mistake, but it's not like he pushed him to the point where he expected it. The problem was that he said, okay, Toya, we cannot train anymore. This is not possible anymore. You're hurting yourself, and I'm taking responsibility. So it was tragic, but it's not like the first impression of Endeavor is that he was just an abuser of his children, and he did not care. And he was terrible to his wife and stuff like that. And he retroactively softened him up to a point that he wasn't the same character anymore, and that it took from Todoroki's struggle with Endeavor, right? Like the entire family trauma thing. Like, you can have A and you can have B, and I think the theme of having a traumatic family event where everything is giving someone the fault for it, like, I feel the vibe of Shoto's sibling hating Endeavor because he actively abused his children to be a very different grudge from, hey, you put the thoughts into Toya. Like, you made him so obsessed about power as you were that he burned himself. Those are two different shoes, and I think you have to pick one. And we cannot get teased that we will have the abuse theme, and then we get like this more vague family trauma thing. And again, I'm not saying Endeavor did nothing wrong. I just think he's not as terrible of a father as he was painted in the first thing. And also, at some point, it's about Endeavor and Toya, and not about Todoroki anymore. Todoroki basically did nothing until the end fight. He had no further character development until the end fight. And that's just like the bigger problem. It's just like Ochako and Toga. I really was into the conclusion, but there was not a proper build up to it. It was like always some teasering, and then we got the payoff that was not as effective because the build up was not as good. And I think that's MHA in a nutshell. The only character that is kind of excused from that is Bakugo, because Bakugo, for some godforsaken reason, I like Shoto's brother just not forgiving Endeavor and is treated as a fair reaction by the narrative. That's actually a good point. That was good. But that's like one little thing. Like, that's just one aspect that sits there. I also liked the Todoroki family drama for some time. I just, at some point, it felt like it was going nowhere. In my opinion. Oh, she actually has her pants tucked into the shoe. Okay. I'm gonna fix that. And same with like the entire animal quirk narrative thing. Like, we kind of got it, but it was also underdeveloped, and it was just like there was not a through line. The same with having so many characters and not utilizing all of them, which I don't think a manga with a big cast has to do, but there were so. I think the insult was that there are so many great characters who don't get enough screen time for how enjoyable or interesting they are. For the example, the fact that Mina was only a side character in Kirishima's background story was kind of sad. It is interesting, but the cast was too big for its own good, yeah. Yeah, or you had to choose better ways to kind of like, for example, Naruto also has a very big cast, but I never felt like they should all get equal attention. Like, yeah, it's kind of meme how irrelevant Neji becomes and how Rock Lee kind of got sidelined, but it never felt like those characters had their moments, right? But there are so many characters in MHA who did not have their moments, but they kind of deserve them, and it's a bit upsetting. The Slayers. Overall, a fun experience, but most of the serious stuff involving the main characters never really clicked with me. Ah, that's a bummer. The prequel movies and OVAs. Huh. Sounds familiar. Edshot doesn't die after saving Katta like they said would happen. Yeah. That confused me. Also, Deku uses support items after losing his powers and nothing felt like it mattered. Yeah, I would have also preferred Deku to be like a teacher. I felt like that was a very like he over obsessed with having a quirk, and then he got like the most important quirk in quirk history, and then he loses it again, and he's fine with it. I think that would have been more powerful. Um. Also, I think the bonus end chapter where they have like a Nomikai and they meet up and talk would have been way more powerful if he didn't have a quirk. Like, he didn't have some kind of compensation for not having a quirk anymore. Well, I think it's kind of obvious that since heroes are rich people, if they are successful, they all would chip in to kind of pay Deku equipment. That kind of made sense. But like I said, just because a thing makes rational sense doesn't mean it makes the story good. For me, it's less about consequences with MHA and more like the build-up was not carefully enough done, and thus a lot of the things that would be really cool kind of fell flat. Like, I don't want to spoil too much, but one of the movies there is a kaiju battle at the end with both of the kaijus falling in love. Ooh. Okay, that sounds fun. I actually have been watching a lot of Japanese horror movies because I'm in a lecture about Japanese horror movies, and we have to watch a movie each week. So I watched The Ring, but not the movie, but the original TV version. It's like what happened to the idea of anybody being a hero. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of gets picked up with Deku meeting that weird. Am I misremembering this? Is not there like in the original last chapter a child to whom he tells you can't become a hero, or am I hallucinating? I need to like I wanted to read MHA in its entirety properly one time and see if reading it in like one go changes my opinion in any way. I just want a Merca spin-off series. Um just look up good fan fiction. But yeah, like there were a lot of like the reason I loved MHA for so long and so intensely is that I really fell in love with the characters and how Horikoshi writes them. So I'm really looking forward to see something new from him with maybe more direction and purpose. That would be really cool. Ah, But yeah, the one thing I cannot complain about is Bakugo. He is like a 10 out of 10 character. Um, in opposition to a lot of other people, I already liked him before he was redeemed, and I anticipated him being redeemed the way he actually was, and I'm very, very, very happy with that. Rikoshi is supposedly working on a new manga as we speak. Yeah, I heard that, and I heard that he's not the writer, but just the artist, so I'm very interested. Also, hi Evelyn Ace, thank you for joining the stream, but I do not understand the language you're speaking. Hawks will always have my heart. Yeah, Hawks is like one of the more iconic characters that came out of MHA, I think. Also, what you guys don't know, my boyfriend just brought pizza to me, and it's sitting in front of me, and I cannot eat it. And yeah. Okay, here we go. Damn what? The pizza part? Yeah. I'll probably end the stream once I have all the flats in, so that I can eat. I think I'll fill in the yellow parts with. Wait, she has like um pizza torture. Yeah. I'll probably eat pizza tomorrow. It's kind of becoming a Saturday food for me. Understandable. Yeah, this is actually self-made pizza that my boyfriend made from scratch because I was very tired yesterday. And at some point, I just go, oh, you know what I really would like to eat? Small pizza. Not like we had instant ready-made pizza in the freezer. I was like, but I don't want to eat like a big pizza. I want to have small pizzas and eat those. And then he just went, okay, gonna do it. And he just did it. And I was like, damn, I'm so happy and so lucky to have him. This is the greatest thing anyone has ever done to me. Done for me, not to me. To me sounds negative. Also, her teeth are yellow. Ah, not black. It looks weird. I think actually the thing in the jacket has a slightly different pink. Yep. Muzan Kibutsuji from Demon Slayer, Senketsu from Kill la Kill, and Moose from Rema 1.5 are all voiced by the same VA, Toshihiko Siki. Huh. Interesting. He was smooth in the second season of Inurama as well, just because of that. Yeah, that would be really cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna take one bite out of my pizza and I'm gonna mute the mic before I do. It was 2 bites. It's cold by now, but it's very tasty. I mean, not cold, cold. It's slightly warm still. I think I'm not gonna do color cleanup. I'm gonna do that later. And I'll just move on to alter. By the way, I finally moved the shortcuts for my avatar, so you don't get random changes when I type stuff. No, all of my expression changes are on purpose. Yeah. I think this year I'll figure out how to make this chibi into. To work on your own manga, do you study narrative storytelling? I am critically thinking about stories and but I don't like study theory much. Like, of course, I know some basic things. But it's more a learning by doing, learning by reading thing. So when I read manga, I'm analyzing how they do their visual storytelling. And of course, I'm also like paying attention to how the narrative is structured and what works and what doesn't work. I'm watching videos about this stuff, mostly for movies, but also sometimes for mangas. But I don't read like articles and books on that. If that answers your question. Like, study narrative storytelling sounds like a very specific area of expertise you are inquiring about. So I might have missed the point, but yeah, that's basically what I do. But I'm not studying anything professionally. I'm teaching this all to myself. I also don't have like a very mechanical approach to storytelling. Like when I talk with various authors of different fields like books, comics, and listen to them, And there are very different approaches to how stories are planned out, and I'm definitely more of a intuitive writer, I guess would be a word. Like, mm, you know, when some people write characters, they have strategies they use. Like, okay, you have like like, I don't know, a character is like, there are one-dimensional characters, two-dimensional, and then it goes until like 9 dimensions, and you kind of write down their personality and stuff. I don't do that. My characters come in in three shapes, I guess. I have what I would call more one-dimensional characters, where it's like a joke or one function or one vibe, I guess. Then there are like the middle ground characters where the personality and the background of the character is fleshed out in a normal way. But the way I kinda work and flesh out my main characters is just by writing them. Like, I have a lot of test scenes, test sketches that I do, and it's very vibes based. Like, I know what their personality is, but when I had to sit down and summarize their personalities, it was kind of hard to do for me because I just know. I just know how Hanaka would respond to things. I know her inner world very intimately because she's my character, and I worked with her for so many years. But it's not like I can like apply some character theory onto her. That's just not how my brain works and how my writing works. When it comes to plot and narrative structure, it gets a bit more tricky. Of course, there I have to plan roughly where it goes. And my philosophy is that there is a middle ground between having everything worked out and only having a starting point and an end point. But yeah, most of it is just observation and sometimes reading stuff. I also have a very thematic, like, I have a very character driven and very thematic approach to writing. I am not a hard plot writer because that's also not what I enjoy. What I enjoy reading. I can appreciate a well thought out plot, but it's not my biggest concern. Like, of course, there are not supposed to be any plot holes, or like you said, inconsequences, where like things don't pay off or don't get followed through. You have to keep an eye out for that, of course. But I'm not the twists and like, I'm not the kind of person who writes a story and then the characters bend around that story. It's more like the story is a natural conclusion out of my character's motivations and how the world works. Like, of course, I have some things where I think, oh, it would be cool if something like that could happen. But then I have to go out of my way and kind of find the. Oh, he doesn't have a. Oh. He doesn't have a ribbon on his head. That's on me. But mostly all theory I picked up on along the way are on some like video essays and a few articles and books I've read in my lifetime. what I actually do study, which is tangential to what I do. I'm majoring in history and Japanese studies, and my Japanese studies master program is about visual culture and Japanese media. And so through that, I'm picking up a few things, obviously. Okay, almost there. I can eat my pizza in a few minutes. By the way, I don't know if I can stream next week, since next week is Dokumi time. History is perfect too for writing heavily fictionalized stories. Yeah, I feel like actually a better understanding of history and how history works and how people. Like, a lot of people expect a history major to be like you learn a lot about facts, and of course you do. You do learn about facts and events and how they came to be and stuff like that. Um, but that's not the core of the subject for me. The core is like how we write history, how we contextualize, and how we read into history. That's a way bigger part of how I am focusing on my studies. And how like processes work. That's also like a thing. I'm not really focused on singular events, but how all these factors kind of led to those events. And that helps a lot when learning about world building and stuff, because I know how things usually develop. I know patterns. And also, I just have a lot of input when it comes to, like, okay, I can be inspired from the, the Edo system, where all the different daimyos had to come into Edo every few years or months or something to kind of pay their respect, and their family had to live in Edo so that there's like leverage against them, and they cannot just start a revolution or something like that. And I can take that as an inspiration to kind of do something similar. Yeah. And of course, like, studying Japanese media is like the dream. Like I said, I have a lecture where I watch Japanese horror films. And I learned a lot about the cultural backgrounds of Japanese horror and stuff like that. And that's just gold to be like systematically exposed to information like that. I think I'm gonna put that. under there, so if something peeks into the characters, we will never see. There we go. But yeah, it was like a conscious decision that I decided to study not something that has to do with creating media in any way, and instead I used fields where I would be exposed to everything around that context. And instead, I taught a lot of the drawing, the theory behind drawing, the theory behind this and that. I just taught myself, and I can fill it with like all the surrounding context I earned through my studies. Whoops. If I had all the time and money in the world, I would also like add studying of some narrative field or media field into there. Like I would do that theoretically, but I don't have my life is not endless, so I'll probably not. Except if I like win €1 billion and be able to spend my time however I want. Hi. Real life can often be a more profound inspiration than other media. That's true. That's true as well. But I mean, that's why I had the goal of spending a year abroad in Japan. Because that was like creative input. Whoa. Basically, what you need to have is you have to have equal theoretical input into your brain, and then there's like equal amount experience and know-how. And you have to put all that into your little brain so something nice can come out of it eventually. This looks so good. Thank you. I'm giving my best. If theory doesn't mean much without intuition, yeah, that's true. It doesn't, like. I think if you do things too theoretically, they become mechanic and kind of stiff. And if you do too much intuition, it's like the opposite problem, where you have style over substance, I guess. So sometimes you need to have a think, and then sometimes you need to just do. I also need to do this for Queen and Lancer. Even then, you can't please anyone. That's why we have niches. Yeah, that's true. I think there's also a big difference between a story that's bad and a story that's not for you. I rarely have the opinion that something is just bad. Oftentimes, I'm just completely open with that this is just not for me. Like, the first part of Attack on Titan is just not for me. I don't say it's bad. It's just not my jam. Now I just need to figure out Spamton. And I need to colorize the trio, but I need a quick break to take a sip out of my cup of water. I would have tea, but I drank so much green tea today because I didn't have coffee. But I think I'm gonna be awake for a long, long time, and I don't want to have a further caffeine intake. Just look at Little Lancer. Fucking love that guy. We're so close to new chapters. So close, yet so far. Since I have a convention on release day. uh, Spamton Shop. Look at the little guy. Okay, I'm gonna sketch Spamton and then I sadly have to end the stream because I need to eat and drink and think. Also, it's kind of helpful to not constantly have to think about talking while drawing. That's actually like it's a skill that's so hard to have to just keep. I have it a bit, but I think it's very hard on my concentration and stuff. Stay hydrated. Yep. I think he's a bit too cute. Like his face. Yeah, I can have a counter of his shop. No. Ah. God damn it. There we go. I think wanting to please everyone creatively is like a goal a person shouldn't have. Of course, if you want to have like mainstream success, you need to kind of do that in a way. Um, but that's not for me. For my first manga, my goal is to make something that's enjoyable, something that people take something away from, and basically just something that works in any shape or form. And after that, we'll see. Oh, that's too big. If it happens to be awesome and perfect and a masterwork, that's great. And I'm gonna try to give the best I can. But I'm trying to like get out of the habit of perfectionism because it's very destructive of a workflow. Oh, concentrating. Okay, this is a sketch, so he has the telephone like in the bag here. Question is, do I want him cute or do I want him to be like he is in the game? Because I drew him kind of cutie. Cutie badootie. Let's see what happens if I make his eyes a bit. Oh no, wait. The little puppet man. Yeah, I think that's better. Make him more game accurate. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it like that. That also works great as a sticker. Okay, and I think with that we have it for today. My goal was to put in the flats and have an idea what to do with Spamton. And before the stream, I finished Queen and Lancer. And I think with that, I'm gonna end it today. Also because I want to eat my pizza. So, thank you for watching. Thanks for everyone who got into stream and is new here. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for the few new subs that I got. I am streaming regularly. I always announce if I don't stream. It happens sometimes because YouTubers like the side gig, and sometimes I'm just too tired or too sick or something. Especially next week, I'm probably not gonna stream. Usually, I stream on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. European Central Time or Central European Time. So if you're not from Europe, there's gonna be a bit of time shifts happening and stuff. But I have next week one of the biggest European conventions that are there to be in, the Dokumi. So I'm probably not gonna stream next week. Look out for announcements on Wednesday, but it could be that I'm in con crunch and don't have a head for doing work. Especially when it's printing and cutting stickers. That's very loud and I cannot stream while doing that. So keep an eye out. I'll post on Blue Sky and on my Discord. I will probably have a few videos, not on this channel. I'm a German artist, by the way, so I also have German content that I'm doing. So I'm gonna have some German videos out where I advertise my booth and stuff. But yeah, fingers crossed that I surprisingly get well through all my tasks that I have to do until next week, and I can stream. That would be perfect. But I cannot promise anything. But I'm definitely going to stream the week after that and talk with you how the convention went. Gonna keep drawing on a few things and stuff like that. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for the chat. Hope to see you in the next stream as well. And take care. Have a good weekend. And I'm gonna see you soon. Bye!